Professor Lewandowski, thank you for being with us today, and we have a couple of questions about your work. So, is information really that effective in swaying people's mind? What evidence do we have of its efficacy, and what cognitive mechanisms are responsible for it?
Yeah, that's a good question. And the answer is nuanced. So it's not the case that any kind of misinformation is instantly believed and that people instantly change their behavior just because they hear an item of misinformation. However, in the long run, if people are exposed to a lot of misinformation repeatedly, then yes, there's good evidence that that is changing their attitudes and their behaviors, including in situations where they may end up making decisions that are bad for them. Like, for example, they may not get vaccinated because they're believing misinformation about the safety of vaccines.
You recently discussed the connection between two key phenomena of our times: democratic backsliding and information abundance. Together with Ralph Hartwig, you have proposed critical ignoring as a strategy to cope with information abundance without contributing to the decline of democracy. Could you explain how it works?
So when the internet first appeared on the scene, everybody thought it would be wonderful to make all this information available and for people all around the world to talk to each other. And that's sort of true, but there is an unintended consequence of that abundance of information, and that is that people's cognition isn't able to process all the information that's out there. And so what people do in a situation of information abundance is to resort to cognitive shortcuts. And many of these cognitive shortcuts have adverse consequences for democracy. So, for example, people no longer listen to arguments, but they're sort of using emotional memes instead to try and understand the world. And so, one of the things that Ralph Hertwig and I have said is okay, we need to learn to ignore things. We have too much information out in the world, and there's no way that we can acquire all of it or listen to all of it or comprehend all of it. So we need to cut information. And so our suggestion is that we're very careful with what we pay attention to. And there's a lot of stuff out there we shouldn't even consider looking at.